And hey,
Hey,
everybody, welcome to Live from the Owl's Nest. I'm Jamie,
I'm Alicia.
and together we are
Royalwise.
Royalwise, computer software training and support, specializing in QuickBooks Online, Microsoft Office, and
All things Apple.
all things Apple. How we doing?
I'm doing great.
Middle of March. It's almost St. Patty's Day, so
Oh wait, you're Irish.
I'm Scot.
Bring it in.
I'm Scot Irish, but
That
okay.
counts.
I don't know about how Irish I am, but I don't sound anything like Harry Potter.
He's not Irish.
No,
They're Scottish. Actually.
That's why it doesn't sound anything like him.
Right.
Everybody hates that joke. I don't get it.
That's
Anyway,
'cause they don't get
hopefully you
it.
got your corned beef purchased and there's not a run on cabbage at the grocery store. Should be enough cabbage for everybody.
Okay.
So,
Actually, Jamie cooks a great cabbage. I hated cabbage until I got to eat his corned beef
and cabbage it will be.
Yeah.
So let's get started with some QuickBooks stuff. What's going on in the QuickBooks world?
I've been having fun with some new features. Deferred revenue is now out in QuickBooks Online Advanced. And what that means is if you do subscription-based services where you take a lump sum payment, let's say in January, they pay you for the full year, there's now in QuickBooks Online Advanced a new option that when you go into the product itself and you look at the details of the product, you can select deferred revenue and then say, okay, I want you to track it monthly for 12 months. And then it will recognize the revenue every month instead of in one big lump sum. I did discover, however, that in order for it to work, it's not the date of the sales receipt or the invoice that matters. You actually have to use the service date on the line itself that has the product on it. So it means that either if you're importing transactions, you have to have service date in the import, or you have to manually turn that on. So that's for some people, that's a deal breaker, but that is how it works. So I'm excited that the feature exists. Looking forward to seeing it really dialed in and playing it out.
Got to know how to use it.
Yeah,
exactly. You're going to use it.
And you got to know what all the little quirks are in order to make it work.
Try not to break everything else.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I was on the In the Know webinar for today, and a couple new things coming up. The charts, you can now make a report that shows charts, and what they're introducing that's even newer is the ability to do comparison charts. So now your charting is going to be on 2 dimensions, like you could do products in a stacked chart to see your revenues. So that's pretty slick. It's something that up until now you had to export to Excel or use a third-party app to do. And there's also updating the budgeting tools. They're actually revising the whole budgeting tool. So now you can actually do budgeting comparisons, and they're going to give you the ability to import your budgets even in QuickBooks Online Plus and not just in Advanced. So pretty cool for those of us who think that's pretty cool.
It's fun. It's funny in our work and our support, we find these little tiny things that may or may not work, or it's a good idea, but what stops it from working? I had that case where I've got a client that got a new M1 MacBook Pro, but he's got 2 of those old 27-inch Thunderbolt monitors that he wants to plug in. Well, apparently the M1 and the M2 chip can't support more than one Thunderbolt monitor. They just don't have the hardware in the chip to support that. But
even though it's like the all-powerful chip,
the M1 Pro, M1 Ultra can support more than one Thunderbolt monitor. And so he just bought the new laptop, and it doesn't have in the M1 chip what he needs to use the 2 monitors at one time. And it's brand new hardware. Like, who knows these things? I'm not a big hardware guy. I'm a software guy. I'm a trainer. I help people buy hardware, and I try to study it as much as I can, but I didn't see anything about it that said limit of how many Thunderbolt specific monitors. They're Apple products.
Because in all the specs, they're going to tell you what it does do, but they're not going to tell you, oh, by the way, it doesn't do this.
Right, exactly. Right. So a little caught by surprise, but hey, welcome to support.
Yeah.
And saying that, I want everybody to know that the 3rd episode of JMac Fixes Everything has been out for about a week or 2 now. Looking great. Our podcast has had over 100 downloads. That's what Buzzsprout's telling us. So the first 3 episodes have been downloaded 100 times between them. And also, I'll go to YouTube and check out JMac Fixes Everything if you want to see the videos. It's a lot of fun to see the screen examples and the reactions on our faces and fun stuff like that. So we're loving that. And then episode 4 should be out in a week or so. And so we're going to keep reminding everybody to go check it out at askjmac.com or jmacfixeseverything.com. And feel free to even send questions to askjmac@gmail.com. and maybe
Excellent.
we'll answer your question in the show.
Yeah, I love it because it's so comprehensive that on the one hand it's great for beginners because it's taking Audrey Isbell, our host and employee, up from getting her first iPhone and switching over from Android. But then there's all the little tips and tricks and the features that you don't know are there because you never explored it. You never clicked that one button, and so I actually really enjoy listening to it so that I can find out what's new that I haven't come across myself.
Well, there we go. We love
Yeah.
that. Okay, what about classes? Anything coming on your class calendar?
Oh, there's always things coming up on my class calendar.
Well, I'll
so
let you go first.
Yeah, so on April 4th, I'm teaching my credit cards in business class. It's both about how to take credit cards and how to use credit cards in your business. So I do a little bit about merchant services in the big picture. And then I go into how to use credit cards and maybe why you shouldn't use credit cards for your company, including the all important how do you do corporate credit cards where you've got a main card with lots of employees sub accounts. So it's a really useful class for how to organize your QuickBooks to import all of your credit card transactions. Then on May 2nd, I'm re-recording my banking feeds class, which I'm like the banking feed geek. I love the banking feeds, and there's a lot of new enhancements to it. So I'm really looking forward to revamping that class and teaching that class. So that's on May 2nd, and everybody should sign up for that one because the banking feeds are either your best friend or your worst nightmare, and they can save you hours of time and do a ton of automation if you use them right. And then on April 25th, Gita Faust is coming back again. She's the QuickBooks real estate guru, and she did a real estate overview class with us last year, which is available in the OWLS, but she's coming back specifically to do bookkeeping for vacation rentals. So if you own an Airbnb or a VRBO and you want to know how to do the bookkeeping for it, this is the class for you. So definitely come check that out.
They actually pronounce that Verbo.
Do they pronounce it
They
Verbo?
call it Verbo. I spell it
Airbnbs
out
and
too.
Verbos.
And Verbos. I always say
Verbos.
VRBO too, but they're called
Okay,
Verbos.
All right, well, come do bookkeeping for your Verbo with Royalwise.
Very good. That's fun. We always say either you're going to come and learn how to do it right the first time with us, or you're going to end up calling us to support you and fix it for you later.
Yeah.
So save yourself some time and money and just come and learn first, and then you can do it right.
Taking one class is way cheaper than having us clean up after you.
Absolutely. I just did a couple classes about a week, maybe 2 weeks ago. I did my podcasts app class. We've been talking about that, and also the TV app class, and that was really good. Those are actually up on the OWLS platform also and ready for people to check out. I kind of said it last time, but the third season of Ted Lasso is now out and on Apple TV Plus. I think they put the whole season up just at one time. They're not even drizzling it out episode by episode.
Oh, I can't wait to binge watch it, but it's going to go by too fast.
As far as the binge watching or even just watching TV, it's Pedro Pascal month last month. Everybody's so amazed because you can see The Mandalorian and The Last of Us in the same week, right? So you get to see Pedro in all sorts of shows.
Well, he deserves all our attention.
He did good. He
He's
did
great.
really good. Looking forward to more Mandalorians.
It's on Saturday Night Live too.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
That's Pascal week. I got some classes coming up. I'm going to be doing my iPhone iPad Basics series. That is going to be starting on, March 24th. I'm going to be doing the focus on foundations. And then on the 31st, it will be iPhone iPad Basics Mastering Your Mobile Device. And then the last class in the series, or the third class, is going to be on the 7th of April. And that is going to be about cameras and photo, how to use the camera app. How to use the photo app, especially with the new 13s and 14s. There's so many new features in the camera that you may not know what, like the night mode does, or how to turn the night mode on or off, or how to get between the flash and night mode, which one do you want to use for what situation. So we're going to delve into that, and then also how to stay organized in the Photos app, and what does the iCloud Photo Library do for you? How does it keep all your devices synced and up to speed, and how do you not mess that up?
And that's a super important topic these days, since people barely even carry cameras anymore. They just have their phones, and you can take a ton of pictures, but being able to find those pictures again becomes the trick. And so he's got all the tips and tricks for being able to locate those photos when you need them,
and apply effects and do some cropping and rotating and anything else you need to do. So
share it.
Yep. We love it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So those are my classes coming up. And I think we've covered what we have to cover here today.
Yeah.
Got anything else for everybody?
No, short and sweet today.
Okay, so just look for that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow tomorrow, if you can, and look for the green footprints around the preschools. We always see the little leprechauns running around for St. Patrick's Day.
Are we going to do that for our kids?
No, they're teenagers now. Forget about it.
They just want the gold.
Well, thank you guys for spending some time with us here live in the Owl's Nest. I'm Jamie.
I'm Alicia.
And we will
see you in class,
everybody.